Imagine standing on a frozen world, a landscape of pale ice stretching endlessly in every direction. No wind, no sound, only silence beneath a distant sun. This is Europa, one of the largest moons orbiting Jupiter. At first glance, it appears completely lifeless. Its surface is smooth, bright, crisscrossed by dark fractures. The temperature here averages minus 160 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze almost any material solid. For decades, this icy shell was assumed to hide nothing, just frozen rock and ancient impact scars. But modern observations change that understanding. Beneath this frozen crust lies something extraordinary, a global ocean, an ocean larger than all of Earth's oceans combined. Not a shallow sea, a planetary ocean stretching thousands of kilometers wide. Hidden beneath kilometers of solid ice, estimates suggest the water layer may reach 100 kilometers deep. That is more than 10 times deeper than Earth's deepest ocean trench. The total volume of liquid water here may exceed twice the amount found on Earth. For scientists, this discovery changed everything. Where liquid water exists, life becomes possible, even in darkness, even in isolation. Hydrothermal vents on Earth's ocean floor prove this. Entire ecosystems survive there without sunlight. Europa may host similar environments, warm chemical reactions rising from its rocky core, energy sources capable of feeding alien biology. Because of this possibility, Europa has become one of the most important targets in planetary exploration. Future missions hope to drill through the ice, to reach the hidden ocean below, to search for life in one of the most isolated oceans in the solar system. But this ambition creates a dangerous misunderstanding. The greatest challenge is not reaching Europa. It is not landing on the surface, and it is not drilling through kilometers of ice. The real barrier appears only after the ocean is reached. Because Europa's ocean is not simply distant, it is an environment where survival becomes physically impossible. Europa does not orbit Earth. It circles far beyond the inner solar system, locked in orbit around Jupiter, a giant world nearly 5 times farther from the Sun than Earth. The distance between Earth and Jupiter constantly changes. At closest alignment, the gap is about 628 million kilometers. At its farthest, more than 928 million kilometers. Even with modern rockets, the journey is slow. A spacecraft cannot fly straight to Jupiter. Gravity, fuel limits, and orbital mechanics decide the path. Most missions take 5 to 8 years to arrive. Years spent traveling through empty space. And arrival does not mean safety. Europa is only one moon inside Jupiter's enormous system. Reaching it requires careful navigation through powerful gravity. A mistake here is permanent. There are no nearby rescue missions, no emergency return routes. Once humans arrive, they are effectively isolated. Communication becomes another barrier. Radio signals travel at the speed of light. Even so, distance creates delay. Messages between Earth and Jupiter can take 30 to 50 minutes round trip. No real-time conversation, no immediate instructions from mission control. Every decision must be made locally. Every mistake becomes irreversible before help can respond. Resupply is even more difficult. A mission to Europa cannot be supported like a station in Earth orbit. Replacement equipment cannot arrive quickly. Medical evacuation is impossible. Even launching a rescue mission would take years. Human explorers would exist inside a closed system. Every breath of air, every drop of water, every gram of food must be carried or recycled. If a critical system fails, there is no external backup. This isolation transforms every technical problem into a survival problem. Because Europa is not just far away, it is far enough that help cannot arrive in time. Before reaching Europa's ocean, one obstacle dominates everything: the ice shell. Europa is not covered by thin frost. Its surface is a solid planetary crust of frozen water. Estimates suggest the ice layer is 15 to 30 kilometers thick. In some regions, possibly even deeper. For comparison, Earth's thickest sea ice rarely exceeds 3 meters. Europa's ice is thousands of times thicker. It behaves less like frozen water, more like rock. The deeper the ice becomes, the harder it grows. Pressure compresses the crystal structure. Temperature gradients reshape the material. Over time, the ice becomes dense and extremely strong. Human drilling technology struggles even on Earth. The deepest ice drilling project reached about 3 kilometers in Antarctica. and that required decades of work. Europa demands drilling nearly 10 times deeper. But the environment here is far more hostile. Surface temperatures average minus 160 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze lubricants, cold enough to shatter unprotected materials. Machines must function inside extreme cold for years, while cutting through kilometers of high-pressure ice. Traditional drills would likely fail long before reaching the ocean. Because of this, engineers propose melting probes, robotic devices that slowly descend through the ice using heat. These probes would melt the surrounding ice, allowing gravity to pull them downward. But even this solution introduces new risks. The melted tunnel could refreeze behind the probe, trapping the vehicle permanently. Any cable linking it to the surface could snap. Communication could vanish instantly, and if the probe becomes stuck halfway down, recovery is impossible. No human team could descend to repair it. No replacement system could arrive quickly. Drilling through Europa's ice may eventually succeed, but success creates a far more dangerous moment, because beneath that ice lies an ocean no human machine has ever entered, an ocean that obeys completely different physical limits. Beyond the ice shell, Europa hides an ocean of enormous scale, not a shallow sea, a global ocean surrounding the entire moon. Estimates suggest depths between 60 and 150 kilometers. To understand this scale, compare it to Earth. The deepest location on Earth is the Mariana Trench. Its lowest point reaches about 11 kilometers. Even that depth creates immense pressure. At the bottom of the trench, pressure exceeds 1,000 times Earth's surface pressure. Few human-made vehicles can survive there. Only a handful of specialized submersibles have ever reached it. Europa's ocean may be 10 times deeper. Pressure increases rapidly with depth. Every additional kilometer adds weight from the water above. At extreme depths, the pressure could reach 10,000 times Earth's surface pressure. Under these conditions, most materials collapse. Steel bends. Titanium structures deform. Seals fail. Microscopic weaknesses become catastrophic fractures. On Earth, deep-sea submarines rely on thick pressure spheres, small cabins built to resist crushing force. Even those designs have limits. They are engineered for depths measured in kilometers, not hundreds of kilometers. Europa's ocean would demand something beyond existing engineering. A vessel strong enough to survive immense compression, yet light enough to be transported across the solar system, and small enough to descend through a narrow drilling shaft. Every requirement conflicts with another. Increased structural strength, and the craft becomes heavier. Increased size, and pressure resistance weakens. Reduce mass, and the structure becomes fragile. Eventually, the physics becomes unavoidable. Water itself becomes a weapon, an invisible force pressing inward from every direction. If a structure fails, collapse happens instantly. The surrounding ocean would rush inward at violent speed. The pressure difference would destroy the vessel in milliseconds. Inside Europa's ocean, survival would depend entirely on perfect structural integrity. A single flaw would end the mission immediately. Europa does not exist in empty space. It lives inside the powerful magnetic environment of Jupiter. Jupiter possesses the strongest magnetic field of any planet in the solar system. This magnetic field traps enormous numbers of high-energy particles, electrons, protons, ionized atoms. Together, they form vast radiation belts surrounding the planet. Europa orbits directly inside this radiation storm. The moon is constantly bombarded by energetic particles every second, every hour, every year. Radiation levels on Europa's surface are extreme. A human standing unprotected would receive a lethal dose quickly. Estimates suggest over 5 sieverts of radiation within a single day. That amount is far beyond safe exposure. At these levels, severe radiation sickness begins rapidly. Cells lose the ability to divide. DNA breaks apart under constant particle impact. Internal organs begin to fail. Even brief missions would require heavy shielding. But shielding creates another engineering problem. Radiation protection requires dense materials. Lead, steel, specialized composites. All of these dramatically increase spacecraft mass. Every kilogram launched from Earth requires enormous fuel, and fuel limits the size of the mission. Even robotic spacecraft suffer damage here. Electronics degrade under constant radiation bombardment. Computer memory becomes corrupted. Sensors slowly lose accuracy. long-term operations become increasingly unstable. Human explorers would need protective habitats on the surface, shielded vehicles, and protected drilling systems, all functioning perfectly inside a radiation storm. Any extended surface mission would expose both machines and humans to constant damage. Before explorers even reach the ocean beneath the ice, the environment above it is already attempting to destroy the mission. Because Europa's greatest dangers do not begin below the surface. They begin the moment a spacecraft arrives. Beneath Europa's ice, sunlight never arrives. Not faintly, not occasionally. It is completely absent. The ice shell blocks all solar radiation. Even if light could penetrate ice, the thickness prevents it. 15 to 30 kilometers of frozen water creates permanent darkness. Europa's ocean exists in absolute night. On Earth, sunlight powers most ecosystems. Plants convert light into energy through photosynthesis. Animals depend on that energy indirectly. Europa has no such system. If life exists there, it must rely on chemistry instead of light. Scientists believe Europa's ocean floor may contain hydrothermal vents, cracks in the rocky core releasing heat and minerals. Similar environments exist on Earth's deep sea floor. Around these vents, entire ecosystems survive without sunlight. Bacteria convert chemical energy into biological fuel. Larger organisms feed on these microbes. If Europa hosts similar vents, life may exist there as well. But this creates a dangerous uncertainty. Any Europan life would have evolved in total isolation, separated from Earth's biosphere for billions of years. Its chemistry could be unfamiliar. Its metabolism completely different. Even its basic biological structures may not resemble Earth life. Human immune systems evolved to recognize terrestrial microbes, bacteria, viruses, fungi. But alien microorganisms would follow unknown biological rules. Some might be harmless. Others could interact unpredictably with human tissue. Even if infection never occurs, chemical reactions remain possible. Foreign proteins could trigger immune collapse. Unrecognized toxins could interfere with human biology. And contamination could occur in the opposite direction. Human microbes might spread into Europa's ocean, disrupting ecosystems that developed over billions of years. For this reason, planetary protection rules are strict. Any exploration system must avoid biological contamination. Human presence makes that control extremely difficult. Europa's ocean may contain life, but if it does, humans entering that environment would face biology that evolved on an entirely different world. Europa's ocean continues to attract scientific attention. It contains liquid water. Chemical energy may exist within its depths, and somewhere in that darkness, life could be present. Because of this possibility, exploration plans continue to evolve. Engineers design melting probes capable of descending through thick ice. Autonomous submarines are proposed to navigate the hidden ocean. Nuclear-powered systems could provide energy far from the sun. These machines may eventually succeed. Robotic exploration of Europa's ocean is technically possible, but the presence of robots does not mean humans can survive there. Human survival requires stable systems operating continuously. Air, heat, radiation protection, pressure resistance. Every system must function perfectly, for months, possibly years. Yet Europa combines multiple hostile conditions simultaneously. Extreme distance from Earth, communication delays preventing rapid intervention, a thick ice crust separating explorers from the surface, an ocean potentially deeper than any on Earth, pressure capable of collapsing most structures instantly, radiation powerful enough to damage both humans and machines, and a biological environment completely unknown. Each factor alone presents serious engineering challenges. Together, they create a compound barrier. Fixing one problem does not remove the others. A submarine strong enough to resist pressure still depends on surface support. Surface systems remain exposed to radiation. Repair missions cannot arrive quickly from Earth, and any contamination event could end the mission immediately. Eventually, the limitations become unavoidable. Europa's ocean is not simply distant. It is an environment shaped by physics beyond normal human tolerance. Machines may descend into that ocean one day. Sensors may sample its chemistry. Cameras may capture the first images from its depths. But those discoveries will be made remotely, because Europa's hidden ocean may be explored, yet it will remain a place where humans cannot survive.